This is Wake and Bake with Reverend Dr. Kim. Throughout my life, I've had a deep understanding that we're more than just physical bodies, more than just meat suits walking around through the world. From a young age, I could sense the energy around objects and intuitively grasp that there's a deeper essence to our existence. I recognize the power of the mind, the ability to think a thought and elicit physical responses like tears or laughter, even without external stimulus. These kinds of experiences showed me that what happens within us holds tremendous significance. I came to understand that words and thoughts have profound power. They can shape our emotions, our experiences, and our perception of the world. And I realized that new perspectives are key to healing. There's always another way of looking at things, always another way of reaching neutrality, neither negative nor positive, but accepting things as they are. And it's in this state of acceptance that true peace resides. And then psychedelics entered my life as a tool to guide us in finding our souls within our physical bodies. They allow us to feel and reprocess memories and stored emotions, clearing stagnant energy from the body and changing limiting beliefs. Through the suspension of ego, psychedelics create space for new perspectives to emerge and take hold. A Course in Miracles teaches us that all it takes is a shift in perception from fear to love. Psychedelics can show us the love and then illuminate the way. They can be the key that opens the door, leading us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our connection to the universe. It's even been suggested that Jesus and Moses may both have had experiences with psychedelics themselves. We really don't know the big picture that they've played here, but we do have hints to their potential. When people started asking me how they could find the place of that kingdom of heaven within, the bliss, their higher selves, unity, the answer was simple: meditation. It was the most direct and proven method available to me at the time. But I realized that asking someone to have faith in my words without their own direct experiences can be challenging. Meditation is a lot of work and commitment, and it's hard to ask someone to discipline themselves into it if they don't know why they are. Words are powerful, but they're also abstract and futile without experience. This is why faith falters. It's through your own direct contact and experiences that true spirituality is found. That's what spirituality is. Your own direct experience, your own knowing, not mine, your own. So how can I help guide you there? I spent a whole lot of time pondering this one, wondering how I can help people find that place more easily, more predictably, consistently. The answer came to me through the whispers of San Pedro in the jungle of Peru. I understood immediately on my first trip that the medicine was a natural unifier, a unifier to the all. It shows you the I am. It opens the door. This was one way to touch the light. But how? How can I bring this teaching and this plant back home to share it with my clients? The legalities wouldn't allow it. It didn't feel right. I sat with it, knowing my answer would come. And then cannabis was legalized, and entheogen as well, by the way, also used as medicine and a door opener. Of course it is. Otherwise, why would it have been so illegal for so long, right? But then came the stirrings of psilocybin and its legalization here in Canada and all over the world. How perfect, how timely, and how very exciting. Of course, there's others in various stages of legalization and trials now too, like MDMA and ketamine, but my personal favorite is psilocybin and San Pedro, but psilocybin locally. I'm not personally a fan of chemicals. I like entheogens myself, plant medicine. Not frog either, yuck. No animal products, plant. That's all we need. Psychedelics can't do the work for us, but they can provide us with a glimpse through the door. They provide a crack of light and fuel the momentum, showing us the path to continue our journey towards self-discovery and spiritual growth. They can be powerful allies in guiding us toward our higher selves. They can offer a glimpse of the divine and provide a catalyst for transformation. By integrating the insights gained during these experiences into our daily lives and combining them with practices like meditation, self-reflection, we can continue on the path of spiritual evolution. Remember that the journey of spirituality is a deeply personal one. It's about your own direct contact and experience with the divine. While psychedelics can be powerful tools, they are not a substitute for the dedication and commitment required to cultivate a regular spiritual practice. I'm going to stress this a lot. They are guides on our path, illuminating the way, but not replacing the journey itself. Let's approach them with reverence, mindfulness, and a deep understanding of their potential to connect us to the love within and to help us discover our own spiritual nature. I was always in touch with mine, and as a teenager, I naturally gravitated toward the world of psychedelics, particularly LSD. The only chemical I've ever touched, haven't again since. It was an unexpected curiosity that just popped up in me, despite not considering myself an experimental person at all. It felt like I remembered it, as if there was this innate pull toward exploring the depths of consciousness. And explore it I did, consistently taking LSD, pushing the boundaries of what was believed to be possible, controlling the mind on acid. Against the prevailing notion that the psychedelic experience couldn't be tamed, I discovered that I could, indeed, control my experience. I became lucid within the trip, just as one becomes lucid in a dream and lucid in life. It was through this process that I harnessed the power of the mind and understood the profound influence of intention and direction. I learned that if I set my course in one direction, I would have a certain kind of experience, and if I ventured in another, a different type of experience would unfold. The importance of set and setting became apparent, which I'll talk about a lot more today. But I realized that the environment, mindset, and intentions surrounding the psychedelic experience played a significant role in shaping the journey. From the very beginning, I intuitively grasped that psychedelics were not party drugs. They held a deeper purpose and a potential for spiritual exploration and growth. This understanding resonated with me, aligning with the metaphysical laws that I understood throughout my whole life already. Even during my college years, when mushrooms came around, I approached them even then with a sense of ceremony, often not taking any myself, but just observing my partying friends, and at one point even encouraging them to record their experiences, writing them down in a shared notebook, so we could look back, dissect, and laugh, but also understand the insights from the trip. It was a way of learning to hold ceremony, honoring the power and potential of these substances in a group setting. Nobody else may have cared or even noticed, but I was fascinated. My personal journey has taught me that psychedelics are not just recreational or hedonistic indulgences. They are profound tools that, when approached with respect and intention, can open doorways to expanded consciousness, deep introspection, and spiritual growth. They have the capacity to connect us with the essence of our being and the interconnectedness of all things. And this is the answer that humanity's waiting for. So let's jump in with this week's question from so many of you. You guys have been telling me you're curious about exploring plant medicines or psychedelic experiences for spiritual growth and healing, and you'd like to know my thoughts on their potential benefits and considerations for a safe and responsible approach. So let's do this. I've got a lot to share. But as we explore the world of psychedelics, let's remember that their true power lies in the purpose and intention that we bring to our experiences. So let's start by discussing the potential benefits and considerations when engaging with these substances. Education and research are paramount. Educate yourself about different plant medicines, psychedelics, their effects, potential risks. Understand the legal and cultural considerations in your area. Knowledge empowers us to make informed decisions and ensures our safety. The laws and regulations surrounding the use of plant medicines and psychedelics varies across jurisdictions. It's essential to be well informed about the legal framework in your area and to comply with the laws and the regulations. Engaging in these experiences responsibly and with respect for the communities that they're a part of is of utmost importance. Plant medicines and psychedelics have been used for centuries in spiritual and healing practices in so many lands and cultures throughout the world. They've all understood that creating a supportive and safe environment is paramount for a psychedelic experience. Timothy Leary has coined this as set and setting. The set represents the mindset and intention of the individual, while the setting refers to the physical and social environment where the journey takes place. One of the first things to check in with yourself about while preparing for a psychedelic experience is intention. This is the set. Take an inventory. Ask, why am I taking this trip? During a time of great upheaval in one's life, psychedelic use can make things easier, or it can make things a lot worse, more confusing, more complicated. Try to assess if you're looking to trip because you want to escape what's happening. It's perfectly understandable if you want to feel better, want to escape hard feelings. But where this can lead people astray with psychedelics is that the experience can actually bring those difficult things up and even amplify them. And it probably will. A common suggestion in psychedelic circles is to create an intention before a psychedelic journey. Sometimes intention can get confused, though, with expectation. Setting an intention should be an open aim, which can vary from specifics like, I want to decide what to do with my career, how can I get rid of social anxiety, to something as general as, I want to see what this experience has to show me. An expectation, on the other hand, usually involves some prediction about what's going to happen, how it's going to feel, what the outcome is going to be. Expectation can lead to feelings of disappointment, or like you did it wrong, or the experience didn't work. If you find yourself having those feelings during or after a trip, remember that those are as much a valuable part of your journey as anything else. These negative feelings, projections of failure or being failed, may be arising for a reason. Try to stay open and curious about what these thoughts might be tied to from your past. Another aspect of set is preparation. Not preparing the space, I'll talk about that in a minute, but preparing the mind and body. If you can, take a day off before and after the trip. Going into a journey fresh off a busy week of work or responsibilities can make things unnecessarily hectic. Try to take some space for yourself to unwind and prepare for an experience that demands curiosity, surrender, trust, and humility. Taking the day off after a trip will help you to provide yourself the right aftercare so that you can begin the process of integration. A proper setting is the nuts and bolts of a good psychedelic experience. You should organize your physical space to have all the basics you might need without being cluttered. Here's a list of some considerations. You're going to want some water. Drink plenty of water. A durable water bottle is a good idea, less likely to spill or break than a glass. A journal and something to write with. Writing down your intention in a journal can be helpful if you want to return to it during your trip as an anchor. Eye shades are good for going inward. Some psychedelics can cause dilation of the pupils too, so your eyes might feel sensitive to the light, but having eye shades can also help invite deeper journeying into the visuals, the visions, just deeper into yourself. You're going to want a bathroom accessible, just in case. And some music. Download it ahead of time, in case your Wi-Fi is not available, depending on where you are. I've got a couple of playlists designed for tripping, full of music that will be unfamiliar to most, so as not to bring in any memories or attachments to it, to keep it neutral. Instrumental is highly recommended. Lyrics should be limited, as they can control your journey more than you might want them to. And you might want to have both a speaker and headphones with you, just in case. You might change your mind a little bit. A cell phone can be handy. Use it for music, writing notes, or recording voice notes. But putting your phone in airplane mode can help avoid unwanted interruptions. And be cautious when using your phone while tripping. Consider waiting till you're back in consensus reality to send messages to others. You can always type them up and put them aside to read and send later when the trip is over. An altar is something to consider. You can use symbols that are meaningful to you, like photos and statues and dried plants or cut flowers. You can use incense or a candle, but be careful with the fire. Jewelry, gifts, anything that's meaningful to you. And access to emergency care in case you need it. Having a trip sitter there, ensuring that a sober person is around if you need them. Make arrangements ahead of time about how to handle different emergency situations that can arise too. That's another important part of setting. The people who will take part in the experience. It can be a vastly different experience to trip with a friend versus have a friend trip sit for you. Discuss this in advance and figure out what's going to work best in each situation. Psychedelics can alter your ability to communicate, so it's good to be with people who have experienced it themselves or can understand the ways that you might be affected. In journeys with one or more people, make agreements ahead of time about touch, taking more substances, and leaving the group to go off on your own if you want to. A person who's tripping does not necessarily have the capacity to give consent and make appropriate judgments. So try and talk about all of the potential scenarios beforehand. Even if someone's saying yes to something during the experience, the safer bet is to honor what they said before the trip. And then it's all about integration. Integration is the magic. After the experience, take time for introspection, reflection, and assimilation of the insights gained. Journaling, therapy, or engaging in meaningful conversations with supportive friends or professionals can help you make sense of your experiences and integrate them into your daily life. We got to walk the talk. Get the message, hang up, and go do it. Remember that these experiences they're not a quick fix or a shortcut to spiritual growth. They're tools that can assist us on our journey, but the real work happens within ourselves and in the sober world. Cultivate a regular spiritual practice like meditation to build a strong foundation for your growth. We're also going to touch on some very important other aspects of tripping, like harm reduction, navigating challenging experiences, and the power of surrender. Harm reduction practices are just smart to ensure your well-being when it comes to plant medicines and psychedelics. This includes starting with lower doses, especially if you're new to these substances, and gradually explore higher doses as you gain more experience and confidence. There's no need to go for the hero dose on your first trip out there, nor on your second or your fifth. You can still gain immensely without pushing beyond unnecessarily. Leave the ego at the door, or it'll be handed to you anyway. This is between you and you. There's no need to take any more than is truly right for you. You're also going to want to ensure that you're in good physical and mental health before embarking on these journeys. Have a trusted sitter present or within reasonable reach. Be mindful of any potential contraindications with medications or underlying health conditions. Prioritize your safety and the safety of those around you. Because there's stuff happening inside you when you take these things, we have to be responsible. In the example specifically with psilocybin, which is the active compound found in certain species of mushrooms, the magic, is a serotonergic psychedelic. It binds to serotonin receptors in the brain, particularly the 5-HT2A receptors, leading to altered states of consciousness and profound psychological effects. The interaction between psilocybin and serotonin receptors results in the disruption of normal patterns of communication in the brain. This leads to increased connectivity and communication between brain regions that are typically separate, allowing for novel insights and experiences. The effects of psilocybin can include enhanced introspection, emotional breakthroughs, visual and auditory alterations, and a sense of interconnectedness with the world. But it's so important to be aware of potential interactions between psilocybin and other medications, particularly SSRIs. We'll talk about those more in a minute, but SSRIs work by increasing the availability of serotonin in the brain, while psilocybin acts on serotonin receptors. So when you take them together, SSRIs can inhibit or diminish the effects of psilocybin, potentially reducing its effectiveness or altering the experience completely, unpredictably. So it's generally advised to discontinue the use of SSRIs before engaging in a psychedelic experience, but remember to consult a healthcare professional. You want to do this safely, as abrupt changes can have their own risks. We know this. It's important to exercise extreme caution or avoid the use of psilocybin altogether, of psychedelics altogether, in certain conditions. Individuals with a history of bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or psychosis, they should approach psilocybin, psychedelics, with extreme caution or just avoid them altogether. The powerful effects can potentially exacerbate or trigger underlying symptoms, leading to negative psychological outcomes. When it comes to the use of psychedelics, responsible and informed decision-making is essential. It's important to thoroughly understand the potential risks and interactions, seek guidance from trained professionals to ensure a safe and supportive environment for your experience. Caution should always be exercised, and if there's any concerns, any underlying conditions, consult with a healthcare professional. And now we're going to talk about those infamous bad trips that everyone's so afraid of. It's important to understand that these experiences, although uncomfortable, sometimes extremely uncomfortable, can hold tremendous wisdom and growth opportunities. They often arise to teach us something important, to confront aspects of ourselves that need healing, or to provide insights that we might have been avoiding. They're never truly bad, but rather invitations for a deep awareness and healing. In the midst of a challenging experience, surrender becomes your greatest buddy. Surrendering means letting go of resistance, allowing the experience to unfold, and trusting the wisdom of the journey. It can be difficult, sometimes really difficult, but by surrendering, we release resistance, which brings instant ease and creates space for deep healing, self-discovery, and connection to our higher selves. Challenging and uncomfortable moments within a trip don't mean the experience is negative or going wrong. Instead, they often signify the depth of the work being done. Embrace the discomfort as an opportunity to dive deeper into your psyche and explore the hidden realms of your being. Trust that the experience is guiding you through the shadows into the wisdom of the light. These experiences are designed to suspend the ego and provide access to new perceptions. They act as a doorway, pointing us toward our true higher selves and our interconnectedness with all that is. It's through integration, taking the lessons and insights gained during these experiences, that we can truly bring their wisdom into our daily lives. When you combine the medicine of plants like psilocybin with professional therapy, they've shown promise in addressing treatment-resistant mental health conditions like PTSD, depression, anxiety, and addiction. They induce altered states of consciousness, leading to heightened self-awareness, emotional exploration, deep introspection, and connection. It's important for us as a society to reflect upon the limitations of the traditional approach to treating mental health conditions. As an example, even with the widespread use of SSRIs. While these medications were once touted as the solution to depression, studies have revealed that the root cause of depression is not simply a lack of serotonin. Depression is a complex condition with multifaceted causes that extend beyond neurotransmitter imbalances. It encompasses psychological, social, and spiritual dimensions that can't be fully addressed by a pill alone. As we reconsider the treatment landscape, psychedelics are being pushed as the next answer. But we must be cautious not to repeat the mistakes of the past. The danger lies in the potential for psychedelic-assisted therapy to be synthesized, controlled, and commodified as the new prescription-based model, mirroring the trajectory of the pharmaceutical industry with SSRIs. We must not overlook the most important and key ingredient: consciousness itself. Consciousness, not a pill, whether chemical or natural, synthesized or commercial, holds the true potential for healing. It's essential that we preserve the core essence of psychedelics, the profound connection to expanded states of consciousness and the deep exploration of the self and the universe. We must not dismiss or discard the spiritual teachings that have guided humanity for centuries in favor of a clinical reductionist approach. This is where my concerns about microdosing come into play. While it might be a better solution compared to traditional SSRIs, it still carries the risk of creating dependence on a substance to feel better. It becomes another Band-Aid solution, rather than a pathway to true healing and personal growth. Microdosing may provide temporary relief, but it doesn't offer the same depth of introspection and transformation that can be achieved through higher doses of psychedelics, allowing you to connect, heal, and move forward independently and in peace. To truly harness the potential of psychedelic therapy, we have to ensure that it remains a holistic and integrative practice, embracing the richness of spiritual teachings and consciousness exploration. It's through this approach that we can honor the profound healing power of psychedelics without succumbing to the same pitfalls that conventional psychology encountered with spirituality. One of the remarkable aspects of psychedelic-assisted therapy lies in its profound potential for healing the inner child and reframing childhood trauma. When individuals engage with substances like psilocybin, a state of childlike openness, non-judgment, and curiosity is evoked, creating a safe and nurturing space for the wounded inner child to emerge. Within this sacred space, deep-seated emotional wounds can be explored and healed. Childhood traumas have a profound impact on our beliefs, emotional patterns, and self-perception. The state induced by psilocybin offers a unique opportunity to revisit these experiences with fresh eyes and a newfound sense of compassion. During a session, you might find yourself accessing vivid memories, emotions, and sensations associated with your childhood. This heightened state of awareness, combined with the release of neurotransmitters that promote neuroplasticity, creates an optimal environment for reframing and healing these traumas. With the guidance of a therapist, you can re-examine your childhood experiences through the lens of present-day understanding and compassion. This process can lead to profound insights and perspectives on past events, enabling the release of deeply ingrained emotional patterns and beliefs that no longer serve you. The state of neuroplasticity induced by psilocybin facilitates the rewiring of neural pathways that were shaped by childhood trauma. In the supportive container of psychedelic-assisted therapy, the inner child is given a voice, and the wounds of the past are met with love and understanding. This process empowers you to step into a new chapter of your life, one where the burdens of the past no longer hold you back, and where healing and growth become your guiding forces. The journey of healing the inner child requires the expertise and guidance of a trained therapist who specializes in psychedelic-assisted therapy. They'll provide the necessary support, structure, and integration to ensure your safety and facilitate your transformation. Through this exploration and healing, you can reclaim your authentic self, reframe your past, release emotional burdens, embrace your inner child with love and compassion, and forge a path toward greater wholeness and personal growth and liberation. No big deal, right? As I wrap this up, I want to stress again the importance of integration. After a journey, take time for introspection, reflection, and assimilation of all of the insights gained. Journaling, therapy, or engaging in meaningful conversations with supportive friends or professionals can help you make sense of your experiences and integrate them into your daily life. It's kind of vital. Otherwise, we're wasting our time, spiritually bypassing and just getting high. Reflect on the insights. Journal about your journey. Meditate. Incorporate any newfound wisdom into your daily routines. Embrace the teachings of the experience and let them shape your psychological and spiritual path, guiding you toward greater awareness, compassion, and connection. Remember the importance of harm reduction, the power of surrender, and the wisdom that lies in challenging experiences. They're all opportunities for growth, knowing that they hold the keys to your deepest healing and spiritual expansion. I invite you to continue your exploration, fellow psychonauts, with an open heart, mindfulness, responsibility, and respect for the power of plant medicines. They're a key to awakening, and awakening is the answer to all of human suffering. So let's light it up with Reverend Dr. Kim.